What's up, everyone? Shadowlands is almost here, and I've been getting a lot of questions about Frost Mages. I've been playing the beta quite a bit, the Shadowlands beta / alpha, and at first I wasn't excited for Frost Mage at all. To be honest with you, I didn't think there was going to be many changes to it. It looked like it was going to play extremely similar, but after playing it more, I'm actually really excited. I think out of everything I've seen so far in Shadowlands, Frost Mage is the spec that I am the most excited about, and I want to explain why. So this is basically going to be just a one take. There might be some bloopers, there might be some fumbling over my own voice, but I'm going to go over all the changes for Shadowlands Frost Mage, and I'm going to tell you why I am really excited to play the spec, what I like that they did, and why overall I think it's just a lot more fluid. So first thing we can do, we can just take a look at like sort of the base class changes, and you're going to be surprised because there aren't many. There really aren't many at all. So let's take a look at the spell book really quick. I actually have the mage class changes here. I'm ready to go. And there's really, if you look through this, you're not going to see basically anything. There's only one change, and it's regards to Flurry that I'll show you in a sec. So just looking at the spell book, we can go through. We have Fire Blast, so that's one nice thing. I suppose at first I was kind of bummed out because this feels like it's really insignificant. The damage that it doesn't really do anything, but having a little bit of instant damage when you're locked out, it's okay. As well as Arcane Explosion. And they're basically going to serve the same functionality. The nice thing about Arcane Explosion is you can get combat with it. You can try to knock rogues or druids out with it. So not too bad to have additional AoE. Fire Blast, I've been using it to kill like Grounding Totem, for example, really quickly. Or if I get locked out, just to have like global of damage. So those are the two big changes, I guess. Another, I guess, even bigger change would be Alter Time. Now, Alter Time, essentially, it's different. I'll show you how it works. So Alter Time is different than how it worked in the past. So right now it's purely kind of defensive, a little bit offensive, but it's only affecting your position and your health. So you use it defensively, and or if you want to like reposition, it's really strong. So you can see I can activate it. I have 10 seconds to reactivate it, and it'll bring me back to my original health and location. Now the thing I like about this, there are a lot of mages complaining that Temporal Shield, this basically, in PvP, this completely replaced Temporal Shield. You can see that talent doesn't exist anymore except for Arcane. But the reason why I like this, first of all, I think the positional, like being able to position across the map, I think there's a lot of room for outplaying with it, which I'm really excited about. But what I also like is I actually think, you might call me crazy, but I actually think Temporal Shield was really overpowered. I feel like there's no drawback to it. If you just anticipated damage, press Temporal Shield, even if someone dispelled it, if you just used Temporal Shield as the burst was happening, there was no outplay. The cool thing about Alter Time, and I know a lot of you might not like this, but let's say I Alter Time at 100% health, I get bursted down to 50% health, and then I get greedy, and I don't, reuse it to bring me back to my location and my health, it can be dispelled, and then I get no effect at all. So I actually like that. So you have to be a little bit more, you have to anticipate it a little bit more. It feels like there's more other players can do to counter it, which I think is actually good, and I think it actually increases the skill cap of the ability, because honestly, Temporal Shield, it's not that hard to know when you're going to get bursted. I mean, if you like pre-temp a kidney or something like that, sure, but a lot of the time you see a Chaos Bolt flying your way and you temp it, there's no opportunity for them to dispel it in time for to remove the benefit you get. So I think this ability is a lot more fun. It's a longer cooldown, unfortunately, but still, Alter Time is something I'm really excited about for all mage specs, and it's one of the main and key abilities of the next expansion. So we got Alter Time, we went over Fire Blast, we went over Arcane Explosion, and I actually think that's it. So those are the only changes. And now you're probably wondering, well, that looks dumb. Like, this is just going to be BFA all over again. No, and I'll tell you why, okay? Because I used to think like you. But there's some really big things for Mage. We'll go over talents really quick as well. So if you look at the talents, you'll see the tree is identical, except with one change. They added Focus Magic. So Focus Magic, now a talent instead of Mirror Image. We actually have Mirror Image Baseline. So I guess that's another change. We have Mirror Image Baseline, and this is a great change that I like as well. And the reason why I like mirror images, because it's not just a damage ability anymore. You actually get 20% damage reduction. And I really like this change because I think just I think using Mirror Image as just like a brainless damage ability was kind of lame, and I've been having a lot of fun using it as kind of like a shield wall, you know? And there is outplay. While mirror images are active, and they actually last quite some time, 40 seconds, 40-second damage reduction, that means that 40 seconds of 20% damage reduction, that means that the other team is going to be incentivized to go and kill your images, and if they don't, then you're going to get high value out of it. But you can use mirror images basically like a shield wall before you get bursted, and I've been really enjoying it. It's also super strong to just spam snares on everyone. It shoots out frost bolts. So another really nice ability. So far we've got Alter Time, we've got Mirror Image, we've got Fire Blast, we've got Arcane Explosion, and all of them I like so far. Now, if we look at talents, the one new talent we got is Focus Magic. I haven't really found a practical application for it just yet. Yeah, I haven't really found a practical application. Maybe basically just the way it works is it increases the target's chance to critically hit with spells by 5% for 30 minutes. When the target critically hits, your chance to critically hit with spells is increased by 5%. Now, I don't know if this is dispellable or not. If it is dispellable, it'll be essentially worthless in PvP. But maybe, just maybe, and for reasons I'll get into later, this could actually be decent if you're playing certain compositions. Like crit could actually be really valuable. So maybe Focus Magic might end up being strong. I'm not 100% sure. Like maybe like if you're playing like Rogue Mage Paladin or Warlock Mage Paladin, you give 5% crit to your Paladin. Like maybe that's big in some matchups. So might be some interesting play there. If it's dispellable, it'll be awful. If it's not dispellable, it might be interesting. And then of course we have Incanter's Flow and Rune of Power. They made one really cool change to Rune of Power. So if I spec Rune of Power, you can see it. And basically the way it works is they made a really nice quality of life change. You have one charge of Rune of Power now. Okay, so you can see I can cast Rune of Power just like I could before. 45-second cooldown, and I can do damage. But they also made a really nice quality of life change, so we don't get as global starved anymore. And I actually think there might be some application for the talent now in PvP just because of this change. So you'll see once a Rune of Power fades, it's on cooldown. But if I use Icy Veins or I use Combustion or I use Arcane Power, it automatically summons a Rune of Power for me. So you get to kind of double down on that. And I think there's going to be certain situations where you can do insane damage, like a Fire Mage using Combustion with Rune of Power and just getting like big one-shot meteors is something I think that definitely has some viability. Currently Ice Form, if you use the talent Ice Form, you basically have a 1-minute cooldown instant Rune of Power. So it functions similar to Icy Veins, except it increases your Frostbolt damage, makes you immune to stuns, but it has a 1-minute cooldown more importantly. So you can mess around with Rune of Power in Ice Form, which I think is really cool. So far, I don't like it that much. I personally just playing with Rune of Power isn't feel very fluid to me. Maybe I just need to get used to it, but I don't like the idea of having to like stand still. When I played with Rune of Power, I kind of felt like a Destro Warlock where I kind of just had to sit and plant and do damage, and it wasn't necessarily my favorite. So yeah, other than that, that's basically all the mage changes in terms of talents and new abilities and PvP talents. There's no new PvP talents at all. In fact, we lost Temporal Shield. That being said, actually playing Arena, it feels good, and I'm going to explain why, okay? And I know I keep saying that, but I'm going to keep going over some of these changes. Those are the base changes. Now, a lot of you guys are wondering about covenants and what covenants I'm going to go. We can scroll up and take a look at these mage covenants. And I already have, right now I'm playing Kyrian, and I actually really like Kyrian for multiple reasons. I think the Summon Steward, giving you the file is really good. So this file of Serenity, which gives you, a massive heal, 55% of your health over 10 seconds. This can keep you alive, removes all diseases, poisons, and bleeds. I think it's monster. In terms of defense, it's monster. And Radiant Spark isn't too bad either. I'm going to show you what Radiant Spark does. So basically the combo, I've been told, and how I've been using it is when I get a Flurry proc, what I'm doing is I'm casting Radiant Spark. I'm immediately flurrying to get it to 2 charges, and then I can use Winter's Chill to slap some lances on it and get some added benefit, so that's good. And I guess I can talk about Flurry. That's another big change. basically they changed Flurry and the way Winter's Chill kind of works. So Winter's Chill, this is actually a really big change. So Winter's Chill, I'll show you once I get a Flurry proc, if I ever get a Flurry proc. They basically changed the way it works. So when you use a Flurry proc, you can still kind of shatter your Frostbolt like you did before, so like Frostbolt Flurry. But what ends up happening is you keep 2 Winter's Chill. And you can use those Winter's Chill for 2 Frostbolts, 2 Ice Lances, as an example. So what I've been doing, if I can basically just free cast damage, what I've been doing, I'll show you. If I can basically just free cast Frostbolts, what I've been doing is Frostbolt, Flurry, and then I actually just take advantage of those Flurries with Frostbolts. I Frostbolt again, then I Frostbolt Flurry, and then look at this, I can Frostbolt again, and it's going to crit because of Winter's Chill, it's going to crit because of Winter's Chill, I can Frostbolt Flurry again, and then, you know, you can basically just hold on to your Icicles that way when you want to have like a burst moment, or on the other side of things, I'll cancel my my Fingers of Frost. On the other side of things, you can just, for instant damage, you can just Flurry and then slap 2 Lances, Lance, and they're both going to crit. So I feel like it actually makes for a really, really interesting interaction with Radiant Spark, as an example, with just casting Frostbolts. So you actually get a lot of shattered Frostbolts now because of this change. You're going to be able to use things like Comet Storm on your Flurries. You're going to be able to just use instant Ice Lance damage on your Flurries, and this change alone makes me excited for Frost Mage, because the more I play with it, the more it feels like there's a lot of different kind of combinations you can do to shatter your Flurries, and for me, it's felt really, really good, and yeah, I really, really like that change. So that's basically another one of the changes. I know I keep saying like, oh, there's just these changes. Oh wait, there's another one, but that's what happens when you do these in one take. But yeah, the Flurry change I think is massive, and I think it's really, really fun. So, anyways, now what we're gonna do, we'll take a quick little look at the Covenants. So I showed you Kyrian, we got Radiant Spark, Summon Steward. Now, so for me, I think I'm actually going to pick Kyrian just because I like it. And I know I don't know. So I think I probably am going to go Kyrian because I think Radiant Spark is fun to play with. It's a really short cooldown kind of burst ability, and that's kind of what I like. I like short cooldowns that increase my damage. You know what I mean? And then, of course, you have Summon Steward, which I think is just, it's so nice. The quality of life of having your little owl guy, as well as like the potions. This is the one that immediately draws me, but I don't think it's the best. So what I think is the best is Venthyr. So Mirrors of Torment, really strong ability. We can read it off. 1.5 minute cooldown. Now, that's the one thing I don't like about it, is a really, really long cooldown. But that being said, there's a reason why it's a long cooldown. It's insane. So basically, you use the ability as a 1.5 second cast. You put a debuff on the target, and for 20 seconds, and whenever the target casts a spell or does an ability, a mirror is consumed. A charge is consumed, and it basically has 3 charges. So you put it up on a target. If they use 3 spells, they're going to continually take more and more damage. And then the final mirror, that third mirror, if they keep doing it, if they keep attacking or using abilities while it's up, it's going to silence and root them and do a bunch of damage. So it's a really big burst cooldown. I mean, I imagine a world where I'm playing Arena and I get a full polymorph on the healer, and I put Mirrors of Torment on like a fellow mage. He is basically a sitting duck. Like if you're playing like a rogue mage mirror, you get a full polymorph on the priest, you put Mirrors of Torment on the mage, it's going to be an ice block. He can't use any abilities, and if he does, he's taking damage. And if he uses 3 abilities, he's going to get silenced, and he's going to get rooted, and he's going to get bursted. So Mirrors of Torment is insanely good. The one thing I like about it the most is that it's on Shadow School. So, you know, you're a mage, you already have Frost, you already have Fire, you already have Arcane. Guess what? Now, if you're playing Venthyr, you have Shadow as well. So, Shadow, and in addition to that, you have Door of Shadows. So, you know, the targeted location port. This is also really, really strong, and once again, on the Shadow School. So, you go for a polymorph, you get kicked on it. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Port with the Shadow School, and if they interrupt you on Shadow, who cares? Now you can polymorph again. Now you can Frostbolt again. I just think the synergy of the Venthyr abilities and how good they are, and the fact that they're not on the same tree as any other mage ability is really, really good for PvP. So I might go Kyrian just because I like the aesthetic of it, and I do like the abilities, but I do think they're worse than Venthyr. So I think Venthyr is the best. I might end up going it, but yeah. Necrolord, Deathborn, the Skeletal Mage. This could be okay, but I think in general this is going to be better for PvE, like Mythic Plus and stuff like that. I think it's going to be rare where you go Necrolord, Skeletal Mage, and you're spamming out Frost Bolts that cleave. I just don't think it's going to be that strong. And then Fleshcraft as well, it doesn't excite me. So for me, Necrolord, absolutely no way. Night Fae as well. Probably not going to use it, although maybe the shifting power, the cooldown reduction, you basically have it's like an evocation, and with that evocation you reduce the cooldown on your mage abilities. So it might be good like on like go based setups. Like if you're playing like Fire Mage, for example. This video is about Frost Mage, but so I don't really think it's going to be that good for Frost Mage, although you could channel and maybe reduce the cooldown of your Ice Block, your Cold Snap, and your Icy Veins, and maybe it might end up being good, but for me it doesn't really excite me, you know? And then also the Soul Shape doesn't really excite me as well. You get like a little blink with additional movement speed. This could be good. Honestly, the shifting power cooldown reduction, if it does, work for Ice Block and all your burst abilities and Cold Snap and, all that stuff, it might be okay, but I'm not immediately drawn to it. The two that I am considering are Kyrian and Venthyr, 100%. So I think those are going to be really strong. So those are kind of just the covenants. So basically what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go over all the changes, and then I'm going to show you like some combos and stuff, and show you exactly why I'm enjoying playing Mage. So next up, pardon me, is going to be, let me have a sip of coffee really quick, This is first thing in the morning for me. Actually, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I got really excited about this. I woke up this morning, I was playing threes with Soda, like my friend Soda that I played with at BlizzCon and MLGs all those times, and yeah, I was like, man, I'm getting good feelings. I'm playing a Mage, and he's playing a Priest, and it's bringing me back to the Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, and I'm feeling good. So I got really excited about that. Shout out to Revo as well, and yeah. All right, here we go. Now we're going to take a look at some of the Legendaries and the ones that I like. We'll take a look specifically... Actually, we'll look at some of these. So there's Grizzly Icicle, which I'm sure some of you guys know. Your Frostfire arcane damage spells. When a target is affected by Frost Nova, it increases the damage by 10%, and it no longer breaks the Frostbolt. So I think this is really, really strong. You've seen videos, I'm sure, or maybe you haven't. There's videos on my channel if you want to go check it out, where basically you can just Nova a target and you can just lance. You just lance. And I think this is really strong. But it gets a little repetitive for me. Like if this ends up being the best, I don't know. I don't think I'll like it. I think this is like their attempt to like bring back Deep Freeze in a way where you can like, freeze a target and then just blast into them. I think in like 1v1s or against classes where they can't break your Nova, this is going to be outrageously good, but I just think there's too many ways to, get away from this. Like if you're a monk, you can Tiger's Lust a Nova, you can diffuse a Nova, there's lots of things you can do to get out of a Nova. So this one you could play, but yeah, probably won't. Triune Ward, casting any barrier spell grants effects of Blazing Barrier. So Triune Ward's an interesting one as well. It's really good for defense. So I feel like if I'm playing like Rogue Mage 2s, or even dueling, I feel like having triple barrier, even 3s, having triple barrier is going to be really, really strong. So if I use Ice Barrier, I'm going to get Blazing Barrier as well as Prismatic Barrier at 40% effectiveness. So it almost doubles the absorb of your barriers. So defensively, this one is it's really, really strong. Those are the two interesting ones for me from just general. And then the Frost Mage ones, I think these are really, really cool. So Cold Front, this is my favorite. This is my absolute favorite ever. And this is the one I've been playing a lot. I think it is going to be situational, but this is what people are playing in Mythic Plus, is what people, I think, are playing in raids. I might be wrong about that. But in PvP, this one is freaking awesome. And I think once you get used to playing it, you're going to get really excited like I am. So casting 15 Frostbolts or Flurries calls down a frozen orb towards your target. Hitting enemies, player counts as double. So this PvP training dummy is bugged, but I'm going to show you how this works. So you can see I'm getting these stacks, Cold Front. And when I Flurry, it increases it even faster. And against players, it increases it really fast. So you can see I'm already at 10 stacks. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to hold on to it. So once I get the proc, here we go. Now I have it. So now I have Cold Front. Your next Frostbolt or Flurry will also cast a frozen orb at your target. So you can do really fun things. Like when you have all your procs, you can Lance, Flurry. Oh, let's just say I can't. Okay, we instantly flurried here. Okay, use your imagination. It summoned an orb, and I can Lance again, and then I can Lance again. And then guess what? I can just press my orb. Now I have 2 orbs. Lance again, Lance again, Lance again. And those 2 orbs are just feeding you lances. Now, this is really, this is so fun, okay? When you just get to sit there and pump damage and you get to store up frozen orbs, your damage and burst potential is really, really high. And not only that, the thing people don't realize, well, maybe you do realize, when you frozen orb, you actually have a really high chance of getting Fingers of Frost. So right now you can see, once again, I have my Cold Front. I can Lance, Flurry. Oh, look, I have an orb. Lance. And with this build and with Frost Mage in general right now, I've been feeling really, really good about just the consistent damage of Mage. I really believe when I'm just sitting there and casting damage, I am doing insane burst, and it feels nice. Let me tell you, it feels really, 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 really nice. I've been enjoying it a lot, and this legendary is sick. Now, the other legendaries for Frost are actually super cool too, okay? So Freezing Winds. While Frozen Orb is active, you gain Fingers of Frost every 5 seconds, okay? So a lot of Mage right now is centered around Lances. And Lances hitting hard is really fun. I don't know if you guys remember the Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm, just spamming Lance. I mean, for other people, they're getting owned. It's not that fun, but it feels like Ice Lance is back, and it's back in a big way. You get a lot of Fingers of Frost procs with these different legendaries and some of the changes they made with Flurry and stuff like that, so at first, people were like, they were using this legendary where you just Nova someone and Lance, but this is not necessary. You can use these instead, these Frost legendaries where you're summoning a Frozen Orb, Freezing Winds. While Frozen Orb is active, you gain Fingers of Frost every 5 seconds. While Frozen Orb is not active, each Frostbolt reduces the cooldown of Frozen Orb. So this is another one. While your Orb's up, you're just getting more Fingers of Frost passively to slap on people. And while it's not on cooldown, or when it is on cooldown, you can Frostbolt to reduce the cooldown. So really, really good. Glacial Fragments. Ice Lance has a 15% chance to explode into shards of ice when it hits a target. So this is going to be another one of those things that's really, really fun. It explodes in damage, and also this chance is increased by 50% if the target is in a blizzard. So imagine this. Once again, put on your thinking caps, okay, guys? We have a bunch of Ice Lances. There's people pinned at the pillar. We blizzard them all. They're all getting snared, and we're slapping our lances, and those lances are exploding, cleaving them even more. So I think there's going to be a lot of potential with this build. If a team is just hiding against you behind the pillar, well, guess what? Enjoy your blizzard, enjoy your Frozen Orb, enjoy your exploding Ice Lances, and yeah, good night. So that's another one I think that's going to have potential. And then Slick Ice. This one seems like it's going to be super duper overpowered. Honestly, I think it's going to be super duper overpowered. Let's see if I actually have it here. If I do, I'll show you guys. But yeah, I think it's going to be really, really good against teams that aren't able to spell your Icy Veins. I feel like if a team is unable to spell your Icy Veins, you are going to be able to punish them quite a bit. Okay, so here we go. We're actually going to put this on. I'll show you guys what exactly this looks like. Okay, so we're going to put on Frostburn. While Icy Veins is active, each Frostbolt you cast reduces the cast time of Frostbolt by 5 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. So here we go. All right, so we got it on. We're going to test it. I'm going to Icy Veins and just spam Frostbolt, and let's see how fast. You're going to be a Gatling gun Frostbolts, okay? And I think with Thermal Void, this one synergizes really well. So if a team cannot dispel your Icy Veins, you're going to be able to punish them, okay? So look, we're going to cast. We're going to Icy Veins. And, oh, that's another thing. Icy Veins is off global now. So you can see it stacking up. Look at how fast my Frostbolts are. I'm just Gatling gunning. And I can extend my Icy Veins because I am getting fingers. Look at my Frostbolt. Imagine you're playing Arena against this guy. Oh, yeah. And then you're critting your lances because you're Thermal Void, and you're extending your Icy Veins, and you're just pumping Frostbolts. I really think this is going to be a lot of fun. And I think at first glance, like I said, I wasn't that excited about Frost Mage, but as I've played more and more and more, the synergy in some of these builds that I've been finding have been really, 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 really nice. Okay. So that's a really exciting legendary. I think all the Frost Mage legendaries look badass to me, and I can't wait to play them. Especially Cold Front. Cold Front makes me feel like a D2 mage. So I feel like a D2, not mage, sorceress, where you're just spamming out frozen orbs and cleaving everybody and snaring everyone and getting fingers procs and slapping people. And I think this is how the game should be. I think every class should feel really I feel like every class should feel really, really strong. You know what I mean? You should be excited to log on your class. Your class should feel unique. Your damage should be coming from your abilities, not passives. And right now, that's how I feel. And I've been loving it. Now, we talked a little bit about these things. Now we're going to go over to the soul binds. I'm just going to quickly show you the Frost Mage soul binds. So Shivering, these are the potency soul binds and kind of the most important because they are exclusive to Frost. So we have Icy Bite, which increases the damage of your Ice Lance against frozen enemies. So guess what? More Ice Lance damage. And as this stacks up, at first rank, it's 10% bonus damage. At max rank, it's 50% bonus damage. Yes, please. Icy Propulsion, while Icy Veins is active, your critical hits reduce its cooldown. So this is another one. You're going to be able to get a more efficient, quicker Icy Veins by critting. So this one's interesting. At first rank, it's 2.5. At first rank, it's 2.5. What is that? 2.5. Well, Icy Veins is active. Your critical hits reduce its cooldown by 0.25. Oh, okay. 0.25 seconds, I guess. And then 0.3 seconds. And then I guess it gets up to like 1.6 seconds. Yeah, it probably gets up to 1.6 seconds. But yeah, I don't know. That one doesn't excite me that much, to be honest with you. Unrelenting Cold. Your Frozen Orb damage increased by 10%, all the way up to 40%. So this is what I'm going to play. I'm going to go Ice Lance damage. I'm going to go Frozen Orb damage. And I'm going to be so excited. And then Shivering Core, Blizzard damage. The Blizzard damage and snare is increased by 5%. And it gets up to 75%. So that is actually wild, man. Let's take a look at Blizzard. So Blizzard, with Frigid Winds, is a 60% snare. What? So it's a 60% snare, and then with Shivering Core, it's going to get up to 85%. Maybe I will play that. That sounds kind of nice. That's going to be busted, man. Oh my god. Okay, that's got to be subject to change. Can you imagine dropping a Blizzard on a pillar and people are snared by 85%? I don't think you realize 85% snare is literally like you're moving like this. You're glued. It's a super glue. So that one's going to be really awesome too. For mages, for everyone else, it's going to suck. So have fun with that. And then, yeah, I mean, we can take a look at some of the other ones, but so we have for Finesse, which is basically survive abilities. We have one that reduces Blink's cooldown by 5 seconds. So we're going to have 19, or it'll go back down to 20-second Shimmer. Because Shimmer actually got nerfed this expansion. It went up to 25, and I think it's one of those things where they nerfed it, and then they have a way to put it back to how it was. So probably going to end up using that. Invisibility increases your movement speed. Not that interesting to me. Ice Block cooldown is reduced. So I'll probably use this one. I think it ends up reducing it by 90 seconds, which is really, really strong. So Ice Block is a 4-minute cooldown. Then it'll bring it to a 2.5-minute cooldown. So that is insane. 2.5-minute cooldown Ice Block. And then this one is also really, really strong. Successfully interrupting an enemy reduces its cooldown by 1 second, all the way up to 8 seconds. So 24-second cooldown right now. If you interrupt someone, it puts your counterspell at a 16-second cooldown. So you actually get rewarded for successfully landing interrupts, which is really, really nice. It's really, really nice. Okay, so those are those. And then for Endurance, we have the Cryo Freeze. While inside Ice Block, you heal for 20% of your health, so a little bit of self-healing on your Ice Block. Diverted Energy, your berries heal you for 20% of the damage you absorb. This is another interesting one. And then, of course, Tempest Barrier. You gain a shield that absorbs 5% of your maximum health. You gain a shield that absorbs 5% of your maximum health after you blink. So that's going to go up to 15% of your maximum health. So you blink and you gain a little shield. I think out of these, Diverted Energy and Cryo Freeze seem interesting to me. Although Tempest Barrier is going to be really strong too. Honestly, all the Soulbind conduits, they look good. So yeah, I think these ones are cool. Excited, especially the Frost Mage ones. I like them all. And yeah, the more I play Frost Mage, the more I read about it, and the more I think about kind of the synergies and combos you're going to be able to do, it makes me really, really excited because Frost Mage has always been my favorite spec. And now I'm going to kind of show you the build that I've been playing with. So this is a build that I've been playing with a lot. Just regular Ray of Frost, either Comet Storm or Splitting Ice, depending on what we're playing against. And then I've actually been playing a lot of Lonely Winter. So both Frostbolt and Ice Lance feel like they hit hard, and Lonely Winter increases the damage by 25%. So it finally feels like you don't necessarily have to play with a pet. However, I have been using Ice Nova. I have been using Pet Nova, but it does against like teams like Rogue. So if there's like a melee cleave on me, I do like having the extra Novas, but I feel like Lonely Winter so far has been really, really nice. Obviously, you're going to change these out. And then a big change for me, this was a dead talent. This was literally a dead talent in Battle for Azeroth, but I actually think with how many Ice Lances you get now and how much damage Ice Lance does, it's going to be insane. So chain reaction. Your Ice Lance against frozen targets increase the damage of your Ice Lance by 3% for 10 seconds, stacking 5 times. So basically, if you get a full stack, this is something you use in PvE. There's builds in PvE where you use this. You get a full stack, it increases your Ice Lance damage by 15%. And that actually adds up. And it also makes it really fun to like kind of combo your Ice Lances. So you're really, really incentivized to find ways to chain your Ice Lances together for a really long time. And I've done that. That's what I've been focusing on. That's what I've been playing, and it's actually been really enjoyable. So we're going to go ahead and put on my Legendary. Let me find it really, really quick. We're going to put on the Frozen Orb Legendary once again. And I'm going to kind of show you how I've been playing Mage. So remember, we talked a little bit about the Kyrian ability, and this is something you can kind of just do at any time. If you get a Flurry proc and you just want to dump it, you can just use your Kyrian ability, you can Flurry, and you can Lance. And you can see as I Lance, I'm getting these chain reaction stacks, okay? So the more Ice Lances you can combo together, obviously the more damage that it's going to do. So what I've been trying to do, and I'm getting better at it, is pooling Frozen Orbs, okay? So I just channel my Frostbolts, maybe I throw in a Flurry, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily have to Lance. I want to save my Icicles. I want to save my Lance procs. And once I'm here, this is what I've been doing. Okay, so right now I'm at the point where I have the Cold Front. So I've been going like this. I've been like using my Veins. I'm Lancing, Flurry for an Orb, Lance again. Okay, I don't have any Lances. I'm going to toss out another Orb, and then I can start spamming Frostbolts. Look, I have another Lance. I can Comet Storm. I have another Lance. I have another Lance. And then I can just keep spamming Frostbolts. But obviously, that's a ton of damage. I'm keeping my chain reaction stacks. I'm able to get a big damage with these Flurry procs. And then eventually, I'm able to just summon up another orb. And you're going to see it. And keep in mind, this is actually bugged on this training dummy where I'm not getting additional stacks. Because you're supposed to get double stacks. And it works in Arena. So 15 Frostbolts or Flurries calls down a Frozen Orb on your target. Hitting enemy players counts as double. So it's only 8 Frostbolts or 8 Flurries. So you can get a lot of Ice Lance procs. It's super fun. The Ice Lances hit really, really hard. You feel really incentivized to not only cast. Casting gives you more Frozen Orb. It gives you more Lance procs. Feels really, really good. But you also have a decent amount of instant damage you can set up. So if you're able to Frostbolt, like let's say you're playing Rogue Mage and you want to just get out like some decent burst damage, you can just build up your Icicles. Similar to what you can do now, you can build up your Icicles, you can build up a Flurry, and then if you're ready, like look at this damage. I'll show you guys one more time. So I need to wait. We're gonna wait till I need a Flurry proc. Please get a Flurry proc. Okay. Well, I don't have a Flurry proc. Let's just pretend I have a Flurry proc. I can get my Flurry proc, and then I use Flurry. It's going to shoot out an orb, which I pooled up, and then I can Lance, I can use my Comet Storm, I can Orb again. Remember, it doesn't take your cooldown, and then, your damage runs out. But yeah, at that point, you've done quite a bit of damage, and for me, it's been really, really fun to play with. And like I said, casting damage feels really, really satisfying. And now, the creme de la creme. One last thing I want to talk to you guys about. If you've made it to this point in the video, congratulations. I hope you guys have been enjoying the video. It's been a long one, but hopefully it's something you guys have been able to just put on in the background and kind of listen to and get excited about Frost Mage, because I'm really, really excited. And one thing, the big thing, and I haven't really talked about this at all, is I noticed something, and I think it's something that really benefits Frostmage. They actually buffed crit in PvP. So so first of all, Frostmage is a really, really crit-centric spec. Like, you revolve around crit. Having high crit in PvE and Frostmage is really, really important. You're critting your lances, you're critting your frostbolts, you're shattering, right? And the more crit damage you do, the better. And they actually buffed crit in PvP. Critical strike for a long time was a bad stat because it only had half effectiveness. But I noticed that they actually changed it, and it does more damage. So I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to Frozen Orb, okay? So these are my actions, and I'm going to Nova, so you can see the kind of the crits, okay? If it crits, come on. So you can see it was doing like 280 damage, and it goes up to 566. Okay, so they actually buffed crit in PvP. It's no longer a 1.5 multiplier. It appears to be a 2. It's somewhere between 1.5 and 2, closer on the 2 side. So I don't know exactly what it is. I don't think they've officially announced it, but it is something that I've noticed, and I think this is something that's actually massive for Frostmage specifically, because if you're a class that your kit revolves around critting all the time, and then crit is nerfed in PvP, that's obviously just, it's going to not make it feel nearly as good. So now you might actually want to get some crit. Before it was a dead stat in PvP. Now you might actually want to get it. And I think just all these things together, all the different combinations you can do with the legendaries, some talents starting to work, like chain reaction. I really feel like there's so many things you can track on Frostmage to really optimize your damage and your burst. There's lots of different combos you can do with legendaries and different builds and talents, and I've really been enjoying it, to be honest with you. So I'm super stoked. I'm probably going to end up going Kyrian. I wish I could be a gnome. I mean, look at me. I'm just adorable, right? Look at me. I'm so cute. I'm so great. I wish I could be a gnome, but might end up having to play Horde, which unfortunately, you guys are going to get mad at me. I don't like it as much. I just want to be a little gnome with this cool haircut and play some Frostmage, but... I'm absolutely stoked. Hopefully you guys learned something from this video. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or you're interested in, if anything like that, let me know. This is a really long video, so like I said, if you made it to the end, congratulations. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. And sorry for just the YOLO video, but I was excited. I just wanted to talk about Mage. I wanted to get my thoughts out there on why I'm enjoying it so much, and happy trails. Remember, leave a comment, like the video, subscribe if you guys want to see more videos, and let me know the next spec you want me to go over. Thank you. Bye, friends. Thanks for watching. Bye.